Conference 2 Player of the Year, Bryce Ford, John Jay Cross River. John Jay has produced some of the most prolific quarterbacks in Section 1 over the past 2 decades. Bryce Ford's numbers blew past all of them. The dual-threat senior shattered almost every single season and career record in school history for a quarterback this fall, leading John Jay to its first Section 1 championship.
4 receivers, 5 receivers in the formation. Looking down the center of the field, open receiver, Machado, touchdown! It's Bryce Ford hooking up with Machado in the end zone.
Ford ran for 2,043 yards and 24 touchdowns. He also passed for 1,688 yards and 20 scores.
Again, a design quarterback run. And Ford looking for the edge. He has it, and he's got a touchdown. Bryce Ford.
In the Section 1 semis, Ford ran the ball 40 times for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also intercepted 2 passes.
Shotgun pass, looking downfield, steps up in the pocket, throws, got a man open downfield, and he's got it! It's Mercer. All the way, touchdown John Jay.
In the sectional championship, Ford took 53 carries for another 240 yards. He threw a touchdown, and he also intercepted a pass in the end zone to seal a dramatic victory. It was the play of the year in Section 1. Conference 1 Player of the Year, Jordan Forrest, New Rochelle. Jordan Forrest had big shoes to fill, not just taking over the New Rochelle backfield, but following his brother, Temple running back Jonathan Forrest. Jordan created an identity of his own for the Huguenots, rushing for 1,672 yards and 22 touchdowns, the most in the career of head coach Lou D'Arienzo. He averaged 8.7 yards per carry and guided the Huguenots to a berth in the state championship.
Down in 6. It's a passing play, looking to the end zone, up, made the grab, touchdown, as Jordan Forrest throws the touchdown.
Forrest sparked New Ro's win over John Jay's Fishkill in the Section 1 Class AA final, throwing a touchdown, and in the fourth quarter, he broke a 62-yard score to seal the program's 4th straight sectional championship.
Forrest gets behind this play, and Forrest could outrun everyone. Forrest, a 62-yard touchdown for Forrest.
Forrest was at his best in the biggest games. He had 285 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win over Shaker in the semis, and then 171 yards and 2 scores at the Carrier Dome. Forrest is the most highly recruited player in Section 1 and will likely head to the Division I level. Conference 3 Player of the Year, Vincent Manzi, Ardsley. Ardsley won its first ever Section 1 football championship this fall behind a veteran, balanced roster led by Super Manzi. Vinny Manzi piled up over 1,000 all-purpose yards this season, flourishing as a receiver. He caught 35 passes for 724 yards and 9 touchdowns, while also rushing for 190 yards and 3 scores.
Going to put the football up. He's got Manzi open over the middle. Manzi's got it. Manzi going to go to the end zone for the touchdown. Large looking up in the pocket, throwing it up, 1-on-1 ball to the corner. Does he stay in bounds? Does he have the catch? Referee's conferring. Touchdown!
Manzi had 2 touchdown catches in the Section 1 championship win over Putnam Valley, and then caught a score in the state playoff game against Marlboro. As the anchor on defense, Manzi was just as good at linebacker. He recorded 94 tackles and led the Panthers with 9 interceptions. 1 he returned for a touchdown. There may not have been a miracle at Ardsley this fall. All Manzi did was make history. Conference 4 Player of the Year, Emilio Nolasco, Dobbs Ferry. Of all the conference players of the year, Emilio Nolasco entered with maybe the least notoriety. But the senior running back left a legacy in one of the area's most storied football programs. Few players did as much with as little as Nolasco this season. On just 121 carries, he piled up over 1,000 yards and had a team-high 11 touchdowns, averaging 8.7 yards per carry.
As you see this handoff on the end around, Nolasco now in a foot race. Nolasco trying to outrun everybody, and he's going to get into the end zone. Nolasco breaking free.
Nolasco was the most outstanding back in the state quarterfinal win over Chester, amassing 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. He earned the honor again in the semis with 134 yards and a score against Ogdensburg. In the state championship game at the Carrier Dome, Nolasco picked off 2 passes on defense to finish the year with 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and 56 tackles as a defensive back.